Hi everyone, it's great to see you. I'm in the back in the shade garden, a perfect place to be on a hot day. It's still hot, but it is still, at least not in the bright sunlight. And this beautiful garden I added last year. Up until last year, this was just a little garden along the fence, and I have to say I am enjoying it so much. This beautiful curve just looks like it was meant to be in this yard. It continues along and sweeps around with our big arborvitaes and then joins the rock wall that was here when we moved in. And this rock wall is one of my favorite things, of course. I have sun patience on here. These are the red candy sun patience that I did up front that just are so bright. I have to say, I think they're my favorite thing that I've put up here. And this year I decided to add copper penny, this beautiful lime foliaged hydrangea that is doing really well. I have a dwarf Japanese maple. This is lily pad. I love lily pad. If you don't have lily pad yet and you love Japanese maples, go to Mr. Maple. Lily pad is a must-have. I did go out and get some more summer crush hydrangeas because they're doing so well in the side yard. Put them in my bags in the pot. And here we have creeping Jenny. This creeping Jenny was in the pots over the winter. Came back, no problem. I love it. Some has even seeded into the ground. And although the purple hydrangea that was here when we moved in only blooms on old wood, we did get a few blossoms this year. I just love this hydrangea. We've added a solar fountain to our bird bath, and oh, this is just a lovely part of the yard. But I want to do a real walkthrough with you of this new area. So this new garden looks really full already, and it's only been here since the end of last growing season. And I want to share with you what I've put in because I have a lot of fillers here that are great for a new garden to make it look full, make it look alive, that as everything else is growing up, you can remove later on. So the first thing I have here is Let's Dance Big Band hydrangea. This hydrangea was in the side yard and it was there for the 2 years. Every year it turned brown. The leaves shriveled up. The blossoms didn't last long. It was not happy because it was getting too much sun. So at the end of last year in the fall, I dug it up. I plopped it in here very unceremoniously. We're not talking any fertilizer, nothing. And it's doing so much better. This just goes to show you don't be afraid to dig things up. Move them to a new place, see if they are happier. Obviously, Let's Dance Big Band, at least for me, likes it in the shade. So this is a pretty big planting and it's a perennial. So, I know that that's gonna be here. At the end of last year when I did this, I divided some of my hostas. This kind was here when we moved in. I don't know what it is, but it's a pretty lime color, and I put them along the edge and then some little pieces just sort of smattered in here. And honestly, if you've dug up hostas and divided them before, you know they look terrible when they do that. They sort of all flop over and oh my goodness. But look at how nice they came up this spring. I just am so thrilled with this. So I would recommend, if you are going to divide hostas, I tend to do it towards the end of the growing season. August, September, October for here in Zone 6B in Rhode Island. And you have to plan on them not looking great. Just get them in. When they come up again, you're going to be golden. I did put in some Japanese maples. This is another dwarf type. This is Green Twinkles, which I love. It has tiny little leaves. It will not get that tall, but it will sort of come up over the hydrangea, which we know likes shade, so that is a good thing. These beautiful rose looking like flowers are those tuberous begonias. This is the nonstop pink, which looks a little red, but back here in the shade, that bright color is amazing, and they go through until frost. I put them in the ground. I do. The only thing that I get a little trouble with is slugs and earwigs, but because of the hostas, I am sprinkling Sluggo Plus back here pretty regularly, and it keeps them gorgeous. The bunnies, which will go after the hostas, but there's enough hostas here that it seems we can keep the bunnies happy this year and still have some left for us. The bunnies, the woodchuck does not eat the tuberous begonias. So that's fabulous. If you're looking for a way to fill in with color, highly recommend that. They do like the part sun shade. This is another hydrangea here. I believe this is a wee bit giddy. I don't see a tag there. Wee bit giddy only stays about 2 to 3 feet tall when it's its biggest. And this is going to be the centerpiece of this garden. This is a Jordan full moon maple. And so this is going to, it doesn't get huge, but it will provide shade out here. It's getting shaded anyway. It's a great understory tree. And it has a real lime color, especially when it comes in. Just gorgeous. You're going to see that smattered throughout. I have a bunch of different coleus. These are more of the coleus that I grew from seeds, and they're doing really well. Once again, sort of adding that rich, lush look, but a nice, inexpensive way to fill in. I have a couple little hydrangeas here. This is Frill Ride, and then over here I have Cherry Go Round. They're not blooming this year. I got them at the end of last year. They looked kind of sad. I just stuck them in the ground, but they are alive. They're coming back. They will do fine. I have Marmalade, Japanese maple. I'm not sure where Marmalade is going to finally live. So I'm keeping it here in its pot to see if it likes this area. We have Let's Dance Sky View. This hydrangea here, that's a proven winner's variety, and it's on the lighter side. So once again, I'm trying to do some bright pops of color offset with those real lime greens and some dark foliage too. And that brings us back this direction. I have 2 of the Eclipse hydrangea. Really dark foliage, darker blossoms. And I want to say Tuxedo is the other one in here, a very dark. So 2 Eclipse, 2 of the Tuxedo, and they are getting their blossoms. They get a really deep flower too. So we're gonna have this dark foliage back here. And these hydrangeas get pretty big, 4 feet by 4 feet. So they're gonna grow up and we'll have this dark hedge with all this brighter foliage in front of it. I love that. I have a bag in the pot. This is Vanilla Swirl hydrangea, kind of a tie-dye look to it. And some of my heuchera, the dressed up ball gown variety, which overwinters so well for me. Down here I have another little tiny Japanese maple, Kryptonite. Oh, if you're a Japanese maple person, Kryptonite's pretty awesome. I'm going to stay very small, but it's really special. And I have some more hostas. Back here, another Japanese maple. This is Cupid. Cupid is a coral bark, so I'm thinking that in the winter we'll have that growing up here. Oh, I just love it. More hostas back in here, and then it transfers into my transitions into my Astilbe, which have already bloomed this year. So there's a lot that's up and coming. These hydrangeas are going to get considerably bigger. The Japanese maples are going to get considerably bigger. The hostas will spread out, but the tuberous begonias and those adorable coleus are filling in for now. So when I look out the back window, I feel like I have a real complete garden, and I love that. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.